Good morning. I'm in better form this morning. I was a little bit shaky yesterday. I was well rattled after the hard liquor, and there was a considerable amount of hard liquor drank. But I'm I'm refreshed. I was in bed early last night, so I'm a lot fresher this morning. I was a little bit sensitive yesterday morning because, well, I was rattled after the drink, and Kane put up a post in the ecology page, and it's more or less was saying about how you can delude yourself as to your significance on social media, and it's very important not to be deluding yourself and to give the people the value that they want. Now, if we were to look at that, I did say, well, the value that they want. Well, if I was to give them the value that they want, I'd have to go out and buy a big heap of shite and stock the fridge and put it on TikTok, because that's the value they want. Because that's the low level content that's getting all the views. And that's the value they want, is mind numbing shit. That's the value that they really appreciate in this part of the world. Like TikTok is Chinese. But if you look at TikTok in China, it's all educational videos and videos that are beneficial, that actually improve the people's education, and it's quality content. But in America and all this Western society, it's low level shit, like somebody stocking their fridge and that gets millions of views, or someone slapping someone with a fish and running off. It's low level shit, like really low level shit. But that's the content that they want, because that's what intelligence has been reduced to. And that's conducive to that's by design. That's conducive to the goal of an inversion in the hierarchies. Just dumb cunts down in this part of the world and improve them in that part of the world. And that's like, so basically I won't be giving people the content that they want. That's for one. Now, but anyway, I was a little bit sensitive, and I did say, I get your point. I get your point. These fuckers don't value me, and you have to value yourself before you can expect anyone else to value you. I said that's the end. I'm not making any more videos. But then after this, I got my head out my arse, and I said to myself, well, I do value myself. I value myself to such an extent that I don't need any validation from you or anybody else. And that's not the reason I'm making these videos. This is just my work. I get up every morning and do my work. But I don't need any validation. I don't need any likes. I don't need your money. I don't need fuck all from ye. Not fuck all. And it's a great thing to need fuck all, because it's only when you need fuck all that you can stay authentic. That you can stay authentic, because you don't have to have the carrot being dangled and to lead you in a certain way. And I'm going to talk more about this. I did make some disparaging remarks about fat people recently, and I sat here yesterday, and like, I was sort of giving out, because I'm teaching people philosophy, and then when they're given the opportunity to practice this philosophy, they fuck up. They just fuck up. The philosophy goes out the window. Now, then my soul was sort of saying, like, well, what you see in others, look for in yourself first. So I think about this for a good part of the day, and then I did think about it, and I did say to myself, yeah, I see. I see. I said, I see. I see what you're saying. Because my soul teaches me, you're not your hair, you're not your body. You're not your hair, you're not your body. You know what I mean? Look at the souls. Or as Plato said, it's an evil lover that loves the body, that only loves the body. Now, I always look at the soul, and I'm very familiar with the soul. I'm always looking at the soul, and the soul is the most important thing for me. But at the same time, like, after I did make some disparaging remarks about fat people, somebody like said to me, why do you go to Kaufland? And I said, I walk all the way to Kaufland because I fuck all money, and prices are cheap. And then the question is, why have I fuck all money? And maybe it's because I insult people and make disparaging remarks about fat people. And then I said to myself, do I want to change? Do I want to change? I said, no fucking way. No fucking way will it change. Because this is, I'm looking at Peterson coming on here, telling everybody how he would like them to behave and how he would like them to perform and how to treat their granny and how to treat their wife and how to follow an ethical code and an ethical doctrine and how to behave civilized in our civilized society. And that's what's making everybody so fucking miserable. So how would I behave if I want your money? How should I behave? Well, if you want my money, Dave, you have to conform. Like, you have to stop calling us names. You'll have to stop calling us stupid cunts and fat people and everything else. You have to stop making disparaging remarks and calling us stupid cunts. You can keep your money. You can keep your money. I don't want your money. But that's not serving you. But that's what's making everybody so fucking miserable. So fucking miserable. And that's what keeping Peterson on his 200 fucking grand a month. Your fucking misery. From your conforming to the expectations of everybody else, and you're progressively more and more neurotic. But I know how you feel. I remember like one time I was in a nightclub when I was a good bit younger. I was in a nightclub 19 or 20 years of age. But I met this fella I hadn't seen for a while. We were in school together. And I met him on the dance floor, and the fucking place was packed, you know, so I couldn't hear him. But he just goes like this below. Now I was carrying a good bit of weight. And I tell you the truth, I was that incensed I would have battered him only I wouldn't have been fit to batter him. And all I would have been doing was compounding my misery because I was livid. I was livid. And that ate me up. There was an undercurrent of anger. I didn't let go of that for maybe days, if not weeks. But this made me quite angry and quite bitter. And then, like, once you suppress this anger, it manifests itself in depression. An underlying current of anger will manifest itself in depression, and especially, but anyway, this as Seneca said. When you don't vent the anger, if you don't vent the anger, you suppress the anger. It turns its teeth inwards. It turns its teeth inwards. It eats you. But then there was a few more disparaging remarks made before I actually decided to address my insecurities, because it was my insecurities that was causing this rage. Like I can blame him all I want, but really what was causing the actual rage was my insecurities, and just him just bursting my bubble or my delusion or making me face this insecurity. Making me face this insecurity, and then I have a choice. I can address it mentally or physically, but seeing as I hadn't at the time got the philosophy or the psychology or any understanding to address it mentally, I have no choice but to do what was within my control and address it physically, which I did by whatever means necessary, and I did quite a successful job in doing that. And then after that, when I got more comfortable in my skin, afterwards, when I used to put on a bit of weight, after that, because my weight used to fluctuate. Sometimes I used to be fat, sometimes I used to be lean, and people used to say to me, "Dave, you put on a good bit of weight there." I said, "I'm well aware of what weight I am, and I don't need a medical from you." But I didn't get upset, I didn't get annoyed. I just said, yeah, but I was very much aware of exactly what weight I was, because I was very conscious of it all the time. Conscious of my body, but not saying that was a bad thing, but maybe I was over-conscious of it, and maybe too self-absorbed in the physique, but that was as a result of, when I used to put a lot of work into it, as I do now in my mind. But my point is, I went and I addressed these insecurities as the best I know now how. Now, if I was tasked, given the insights that I have now after studying philosophy and everything else, I would suggest the best thing people can do is address it mentally first before you ever even address it physically. Because if you go addressing it physically, it's a constant. It's sort of like it's a constant obsession, a constant battle of constantly watching your diet, and this makes you very susceptible to a market which will eat you alive. This market will sell you supplements. This market will sell you diet stuff. This market will sell you all sorts of information. This market will ride your insecurities out to the gate. So the best thing you can do is address these insecurities mentally first. And just accept yourself. Like, just say to yourself, like, grand and fat, so fucking what? Who gives a fucking rat's arse? Who gives a fucking rat's arse? The universe started saying to me the other day, I was old. And I said to the universe, well, what's your story? Like, what's your, have you any more bulletins? Like, tell me something. I don't know. I couldn't give a fuck. It doesn't inhibit me in any way. I'm actually going to be like Benjamin Button. I'm going to, as soon as I get a few quid, I'm going to buy steroids and reverse the aging process. I'm already in the gym tipping away. If I'm afforded the luxury of doing so, I'm going to buy that many parts. I'd be like the Bionic Man. And I couldn't give a fuck in that regard, because all I give a fuck about is just enjoying every day to the maximum. I might be dead tomorrow. We don't know that. I'm not going to do Michael Jackson on it, I can assure you that. So, basically what I was saying is, if you don't address these insecurities, they will continue to eat you alive. They will, and even consciously or subconsciously, but they manifest themselves then in all sorts of insecurities. And I just tell you, the worst thing, it's one thing to have your life inhibited by your own insecurities. But do you know what's worse? Do you know what's worse than that? Having your life inhibited by the insecurities of others. That's the worst thing. Because those insecurities then result in envy, and which in turn results in anger, which in turn it turns into an underlying current of anger, which results in depression. And then, of course, you don't ask, why am I depressed? No, you don't. You stay trying to control others, which only compounds your misery. And this is the fucking problem. Therefore, this is the fucking problem. So you have the likes of Peterson coming along, telling you how to conform and how to accommodate everybody else's insecurities. Maybe you should start asking yourself, why am I suffering? This is the bottom line. Why am I suffering? And I'm just giving you a guideline as to why you're suffering. And with my disparaging remarks, I'm giving you an opportunity, as people did with me, to identify, why am I suffering? Why am I angry? Why am I pissed off at this? Because you have to address these insecurities, or the universe stays pegging them in your face and stay using them against you. And it does so to the point of where you'll be depressed or anxious until you start asking, why am I suffering? And you address these. And you can address them mentally first and then physically. But I would advise you address them mentally first. Or else, as I say, you'd be just susceptible to all sorts of marketing which target your insecurities. And that includes your insecurities as regarding your wealth, but I'm poor as shit, I'm broke, but believe me, I'm enjoying life. That's not an insecurity. My age is not an insecurity. Do I have insecurities? I'm sure I do somewhere if I dig deep enough. But by Jesus, if I have, if I have, the universe doesn't belong throwing them in my face. And then I deal with them. I don't suppress them. I don't try to control others. I don't start saying, you can't say that to me. Oh, you horrible cunt. I don't. I say to myself, well, why does that upset me? But nothing upsets me, because I've addressed my insecurities mentally first, and now I'm finding it a little bit hard to get going in the gym because I couldn't give as much of a fuck about the body as I used to. But at the same time, I'm starting to enjoy it more. So give it a little bit of time, and I'll be back into it full swing, and I'll be back in good old shape. Summer is coming. I do enjoy being in good shape, but I won't do it out of insecurity, or I won't do it out of fighting a continuous battle. You know what I mean? If you don't address it mentally, you're fighting a perpetual war. Trust me on that. It's like the recovering alcoholics. If they don't address the cause, in other words, if they don't address the insecurities, it just turns into a perpetual war. The first place to sort it is up here. Now, as regards my soul then saying to me, do you want to change, Dave? Do you want to stop making these remarks? No, absolutely not. But this becomes the hypothetical question where I have to sit down and I have to do the introspection. Do I want to stop cursing? So I have one person saying to me, you may stop cursing. I have another person saying to me, you may slow down. I have another person saying to me, you may edit your videos. I have another person saying to me, I have another person saying to me then, you may stop making disparaging remarks about the fat people. And or not just the fat people, don't just target fat people, but disparaging remarks in general, like calling you stupid cunts. Maybe I should stop calling you stupid cunts, but I won't. Because if you're watching videos of people stalking their friends, you're a stupid cunt. I'm not going to change. I choose. I'm not for sale. My integrity is not for sale. Goodbye. My authenticity is not for sale. Bye.